Hello everyone, today's video we are going to be doing a challenge, and today's challenge is called Throwback Transformation. It is Nomad Cosmetics June brand challenge. They've been doing some more community-based things on their Instagram, and they are starting these challenges now. I have never done one of these challenges, and I enjoyed the theming of this challenge, so I'm going to be participating in it this time. The Throwback Transformation, I'll put their story thing here. To join the fun, you're gonna find an old makeup look that you loved. You're recreating it with updated skills, colors, finishes, formulas, whatever. And you're gonna post your new and old, which I will, with the Throwback Transformation on there. They say that you do not have to use a Nomad palette, but they do prefer if you do. Of course, it is a brand challenge. They are a brand. They would prefer you to use the brand's palettes. Today's look, I am not going to be using any Nomad palettes. And the challenge closes June 26th. I am filming this June 15th. And we are going to be doing a look that I did back in early November of 2018. So this look is going to be 5 years old, and if you ever go into my Instagram, which my Instagram is always linked down below, I do have highlights on my page, and they have 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. I think I did it for 23. I know I definitely did not do it in 2024. If you go into my good old Instagram, you have all of these highlights here. I went to the 2018 and I went through until I found November's look, and this is what we are going to be doing here. Back in 2018, I did a lot more color. I did a lot more, I don't know, fun looks, we'll call it. And with this look, I'll put the look up on the screen. What I did was purples, then I migrated into some blues, greens, and I believe yellows in the inner corner. I did a cut crease and I did a white shimmer. I'm telling you what, the white shimmer was the hardest part in this entire video, because I figured with all those colors I would bring out my Beauty Bay Brights palette 2.0, except we have a matte white, but we don't have a matte shimmer. So then I had to go finding I wanted a plain white shimmer. All the white-ish looking shimmers I had in my collection, duochromes or shifty shades or multi-chrome or whatever, I want a plain white shimmer, and that's all I want, and that's all I'm asking for. There is a plain white shimmer in the Blend Bunny the Dollhouse. It is called Lace down here. It's just a white. I mean, it has a little bit of a gold sheen to it, but like this is the type of color I wanted all over the lid. And I think that'll look super pretty, just all over the lid with all the colors surrounding it. I don't really plan on using anything else in this palette. It's just I needed the white shimmer. I have a white shimmer in that palette. I also did a cut crease with this look, which I have not done in quite a while. So we are going to start off with the Brights palette, and we are just going to set up the crease. I'm just gonna add the yellow here in this inner crease color. I have been on Instagram doing regular eye looks for quite some time. Since 2018, I have started my Instagram. So it's been quite a long time. No, it's not been 5 years. This look is more like 7 years old than 5 years old. What on earth was I thinking? Then I'm gonna go in to the green. Back in this time, I had the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, and that was my go-to colorful palette. It just was the best thing that I could afford at the time, and I believe at the time Morphe was not in, what is it called, Ulta? Okay, so I did a whole rainbow look. I don't know if I was trying to copy James Charles, but it says in my little description here that colorful look that can give you inspiration, since the James Charles palette collaboration with Morphe is coming real soon. I used the NYX Cosmetics Ultimate Brights palette for this particular look. So I guess back in this time, I called it the James Chains palette, but the James Chains palette was coming out, and a lot of people, I guess, were doing a lot of really colorful looks, and I wanted to join on in the fun. So I got out my trusty dusty little palette from NYX. That was a good introductory palette, I will admit. Like, quality wise, pigmentation wise, not that great, but I learned color that way, and I also really test my boundaries in learning different color combinations and stuff. If I had something like this Brights palette back in that time, I would have been like unstoppable, because I enjoyed colorful makeup a lot. I was also in high school, and I didn't really have the type of time or the energy to do my makeup like this for school, although I'm sure I don't think they would have cared. But I always did my makeup when I came home from school. I feel like I gave way too much space to the green and to the yellow. And I've been using one brush as well. Been using one brush because I did not have that many brushes back then. And I probably would have only used like one brush. It is just amazing to me how far makeup has come in the last however many years. And I'm just going to pat the blue. I feel like patting is sometimes better than trying to blend it all out. What type of makeup looks were you doing 5+ years ago? Were you a colorful makeup wearer? Were you more of a subtle makeup? Did you not wear makeup at all? The purple I had in the look was a lot, I think, darker. I mean, I guess I could add some black to this, but I don't want to add any black, because I definitely did not have a black in the palette from NYX. Did you guys have the NYX Ultimate Brights palette? I ultimately did declutter it. It got really old and very well used and abused. It was just not a palette worth using anymore, I guess is the best way to describe it. I'm just going to blend these edges. In theory, my makeup skills should have increased, but I don't really do very colorful makeup looks like this anymore, which makes me so sad, because I used to do them like literally on the regular. I don't know, it just makes me a little sad that I don't do makeup looks like this more often, but I feel like I just don't have the time, and I feel like a lot of you guys feel that same way. In high school, I had all sorts of time because I did not do much else. So with this cut crease type of look, I do have a trusty dusty No Budge Cream eyeshadow that I'm going to be using to cut the crease. I don't even remember the last time I cut the crease, but yeah, I would just I most likely use concealer to cut the crease. I did have a, what is it called? A Hard Candy Glamouflage concealer that was so incredibly light. It was so light. I used it as a foundation mixer to make my foundations lighter, but then I also used it to do exactly this, cut the crease. I'm trying not to use a whole lot of this because it does dry down and I don't want it to get way too thick before I can do anything with it. first cut crease is always the easy one. It's the second one that always gives you issues, but I will cut this other crease and I'll be back. So I cut both creases. I'm gonna use the white shade just to kind of make it a little bit more prominent. I guess the edges, or kind of give it more of a white base, because some of those shadows did mix with the white pigment base to make it less white. Like this here looks a little green because it mixed with the greens. I would want my white shimmer to have more of a white base. And also you can see from this eye versus this eye, this one looks more flat. I'm not using a glitter glue either. Should I use a glitter glue? I don't think it would hurt. I think it probably would be more beneficial if I just tapped a little bit of glitter glue just over the main portions of the eyes. We're just going to pack it on. I also would kill when I was in high school to have like water activated liners. Back in 2018, I don't really think water activated liners was as prominent as they are now. Also, look how intense this white shimmer is. I am obsessed with this. Usually with this color, I just put it on the inner corner. I don't really go crazy with it like all over the lid. But I'm like obsessed with this look. Also, I just now realized it's Pride Month. This is like a really fun and perfect Pride look, honestly. Back in 2018, I did not put any colorful shimmers on this look. I believe this white would have been the only shimmer in the look. But I'm thinking it'd be so much nicer if I include a blue and a purple to kind of include or go into this white instead of using just the mattes. I think I used just the mattes because I did not have as many shadows as I do now. And with this Beauty Bay palette, I do have shimmers that match the mattes. So I'm going to add purple shimmer to this. I'm just going to kind of do like a wing. I will add an actual wing. I just kind of want it to flow from the shimmers into my mattes. Really, really love this Brights palette, and I feel like if I did more colorful looks, this palette would be a staple. Like, I do like how it has a matte white. I do enjoy that, but I wish there was like a white shimmer, because that is really the only thing I had to go elsewhere for. Now, there's multiple types of blue shimmers. So there's this one, and then this one is leaning a little bit more green. I don't know if I want something that leans a little bit more green, but I want something that has a little bit of depth in it. And if I do one with a little bit, I'll try the one with a little bit more green. All I gotta do is blend my mattes into my shimmer shade, and that's what I'm using this mostly for. Also, this trusty dusty e.l.f. C shadow brush has been here since 2018, if not much before that as well. So I'm just blending my shimmer into the white, or trying to anyway, to make it less harsh. I feel like I need to add something to blend. We also don't have like a really light blue in this either. This is a 2.0 palette, so I am sure 0.01 has a lot more color possibilities to it. And I just want to make sure all the colors are prominent and I can see them all. And this purple is going to act more like a liner, so it doesn't have to blend in with the blue that much. I also put the purple on the lower lash line, so we will also have it there as well. So I am going to be putting that on the lower lash line. It does not look like I added any of the white down there. I want to blend it up into this top portion, and I want to blend it just a little bit out into this blue so it looks more, I guess, intentional. I'm going to take a lighter purple and I'm just going to help blend this down here. I do not believe I did this in the original look, but I feel like it'll help blend. And then if I do my usual liner, then it'll be just slightly blown out enough so it doesn't look like I'm intentionally covering up a bad purple eyeliner job. I'm gonna lay the matte white into this inner corner. I don't know if I'll do the shimmer white. I think I'll just do the matte white, because the shimmer all over the eyes, I think, is the main baboom. And I think it would be a little bit overpowering if I added it into the inner corner. And I think that's kind of the point of this challenge, is to use what you have either learned or a new technique or something. When I do a look with this palette and this palette only, like, it does not have a light enough shade, shimmer shade for the inner corner, but I always just use the white. White eyeshadow is really, really, really helpful. It still brightens up your inner corner, and I think it looks really, I think this looks pretty good. Just a little, I think it'll look good once the liner and everything is on. And I do like how I incorporated the purple into where I would do liner. I think it'll work. I think it'll work. I will leave here, do the rest of my face, eyeliner, mascara, and all that, and I shall be back. This here is the finished and final look for this throwback transformation video, but this is my finished look. On my cheeks today, I used the e.l.f. Putty Blush in the shade Bora Bora. It's this pink shade. I figured since we are doing this kind of pride-ish looking look, I should add some pink, and then I also did a pink leaning lip. So this is the Be Pure, which is Dollar Tree's like brand lip jelly in the shade Sandy. So this is the color. I really like the overall look, finished look. This here is the finished look, and I did blend out some purple down here so when I do my wing, it doesn't look harsh and it doesn't look like I used a black, that's my cat. This is him. He's a good boy. He was laying in his chair, and then he was like, well, I kind of want to bother my mom. So that's him. This is him. One last show. He does not enjoy getting picked up at all. I'm shocked that he's in my lap right now because I picked him up and he doesn't like to be picked up. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I honestly do not recall the shades that I used in this Brights palette. There's a lot of colors in here. I think, can you see the cat? That's my shirt. There's the kitty, and his ears, and his little nub tail. Oh, now he's jumping down. I think I used this yellow in the inner portion. I used a mixture of these two greens. I used this blue for my blue, this purple for the main purple, and then I blended it out with this purple at the end. Of course, the white shade came from my Blend Bunny the Dollhouse. For my purple shimmer, I used this one to help blend it out into the white. And for my blue, which one did I use? For my blue, I think I used this color for the blue one to kind of blend that out with the white. I used quite a bit of colors in here. I quite overall love the look of this. I think it is so much fun. I think it's really bright and colorful. It just reminds me of how I used to do my makeup like 7 years ago. This was a daily sort of look for me. Now my daily look is a lot more, I guess, toned down because I just don't have the time. There were some contenders for this video, but I really am glad I chose this one. It's super fun, super cool, and I love playing with this big hunkin' palette here. I swear to you, I get so much use out of this Dollhouse palette. It is such a staple. For like eyeliner and stuff like that, I did use a cream on my lower lash line just to brighten up my eyes a little bit, and I think it really did just that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was super fun going back and looking at some of my old makeup photos and trying to recreate one. I thought it was super fun and super exciting. I love playing with color, and this is just a little bit more color than I have done recently, and it makes me super excited. Maybe gets me pumped to do makeup again. I really enjoyed this concept. Thank you, Nomad, for coming up with this little challenge. I will leave Nomad's Instagram linked down below if you want to see. They have a highlight thing tagged in their Instagram profile. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's look. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and I shall see you guys next time.